Hello, and welcome to The Gathering, a Magic podcast. My name's Stanley, and I'm here with some of my best friends to talk to you about our favorite game, Magic the Gathering. And today we are going to have a pretty cool episode. It's been 3 weeks instead of two, but we've been busy farming modern RCQs here at the end of the season. Since we last spoke, Nick and I took the same 75 to a two slaughter and double victoried that thing. So that was a lot of fun. Evan made his way all the way to the finals of an RCQ, scooped for credit. And then I went to another RCQ and had a very long, silly story, but I once again scooped for credit. And then most recently, Julian and Ron did a double RCQ day. Drove up north to Nowhere Land, and in enemy territory, a collusion-filled top eight. Julian comes out on top, brings home the second invite, so her and Nick will be hitting up Houston and Vegas, very likely. So a lot of modern action, and then I don't know. It feels like the BNR was like 30 years ago, but we'll talk about the big standard bans. I finally stopped crying just recently. The tears flowed. Not really. But anyway, we'll talk about it. And then Edge of Eternities is coming, Rotation's coming, Standard RCQ season is coming. So we'll talk about bands and what's coming up and what is in Standard. That was the longest introduction ever, but before we get into the real content, thanks again to our sponsor FlexSlot, flexslot.gg, best place to make your deck lists and sideboard guides. It's a fantastic tool that I use pretty much every day. If you're using my sideboard guides and you're using FlexSlot, you can export your sideboard guide, take it with you, print it up, take it with you to your events, and they've got a big redesign, refresh, upgrade, whatever you want to call it, but FlexSlot V2 is coming, so look out for that. It's going to be really exciting. And flexslot.gg, check it out. Yeah, so modern. It's been a while now. Has it been like, Nick? When was the game ORCQ where we both played Prowess? Was that 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah, because the last podcast we did was the weekend before the BNR, and that the BNR was that weekend.
Okay, yeah. So I'll let you start since I've been running my mouth for a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think last time we talked about Jeskai Prowess, and I was saying how I was stepping out of my comfort zone, which means not playing Boros Energy, and deciding to play something different. Played that league, went well, played at the RCQ, and then only ended up losing one match that day to my least favorite deck, Domain Zoo. And I got the fabled homie scoop in the finals because it was also against Domain Zoo, and we know I was going to win that. So luckily I had that on my side. But yeah, I mean, I really like Jeskai Prowess. I think for the first time in like 7 months, I found a deck in Modern that might be better than Energy. Not holding my breath, but might be better than Energy. So yeah, it's been a good time trying something different.
That's so cool. Oh man, the fact that not only does Nick like one of my decks, but it's my Modern deck and it's like competing with Energy.
I know.
That's so cool. I really don't feel like I've ever made a good Modern deck before. Like, part of the reason I was having a bad time in Modern is because I was like, doing the meme where someone's like, stop trying to make Isn't Prowess work in Modern, and I just like kept trying anyway. But yeah, that makes me so happy. So you lost in round one and then just ripped off the rest, right?
It was round two, but
round two.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was when I got Leyline to death.
That's I love to hear it. I love the deck. We were on the same 75 that day. If you remember from the last podcast, I went 502 at the previous RCQ. Undefeated in Swiss, won in quarters, scooped in semis for credit. So at this RCQ, I did the same exact thing. When 4-0 in Swiss, won in quarters, and scooped in semis. And this RCQ was the one where poor Carson was in the heavy play bracket. I played Carson, then you played Carson, then Carson had to deal with me again in quarters, right?
Did we tell the heavy play bracket story though? Maybe.
I don't think we did.
Well, it's good enough to say again, I think.
Okay.
But what was it? We're playing at Spotlight Indianapolis like 2 months ago, and I play against someone in round 2 that I beat in my run at Spotlight Atlanta. It's like round 12 or whatever, and he's like, I don't know if you remember me, but I was playing Monoway Tokens against you at Atlanta. I was like, oh yeah, no, I remember. And then he made some comment that was like very specific to the match. I was like, all right, I don't remember that, but like I remember you. Anyway, I ended up beating him, and then I find out that he plays against you the round after. And then what does he say to you?
Yeah, something about I forget the quote. So if you remember the quote, you say it. But something about I guess I'm in the heavy play bracket or something like that.
Yeah, no, that is exactly that. I guess I'm in the heavy play bracket because he sees some guy also that looks like me but has glasses and has a heavy play jacket on. So he's like, guess I'm in the heavy play bracket now.
Are you on a team with Nick Odenheimer? I was like, yeah. Long story short, yeah. So. Heavy play bracket. Unfortunately, I beat him too, but then he ripped off like a ton of wins in a row.
Because then I'm sitting next to the guy in round 15 when I'm 10 and 4 at the time, and I'm sitting to the right of him. We're like, oh wow! So I guess the heavy play bracket did not ruin your day.
Yeah, we were like 2 of his only, I think 3 losses or 4 losses
he ended
by the end of the tournament.
Yeah, so. He ended with 4 losses, and I think he had a draw. So yeah, we were 2 of his 4 losses.
The heavy play bracket is a tough place to be.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, those games with Carson were like cinematic, man. I luckily I had drawn that round, so I got to watch your whole match against Carson, and gosh, it was just in your match against Carson post board. I was thinking like, why is he not scooping? And then you won the game, and then fast forward to quarters. In my post-board match, you like said afterwards, like, dude, I thought you were gonna scoop him up, like you were done, and then like 4.
Yeah, no, I think I said I can't believe it's been 2 minutes and you haven't scooped. Just scoop it up, Stanley. Move on to game 3. Like let's get this over with. But
it was the deck does some crazy things, so that was a lot of fun, and then. Yeah, I think chronologically next, Evan, where were you? When was that? What happened?
When was what?
The RCQ.
The Game-O RCQ.
Which RCQ did you you made it to the finals and scooped for credit?
Oh, yeah, that was Balance, the Karate Dojo RCQ.
Was that this Friday?
It was the whole weekend. I played Boros Energy. My only loss was to Yawgmoth.
Wow. Back from the dead.
Turns out the deck of X1s is bad against Yawgmoth still. He proceeded to lose out after that, but I did lose round 1.
Was he playing the Birthing Ritual Yawgmoth?
I didn't see Birthing Ritual.
Okay, it's probably not then.
So it was the classic you lost in round 1 and then ran the table?
Yep.
Was this the Friday night RCQ then?
This was the Friday night, yep.
Okay, nice.
And then I beat Domain Zoo in the quarters.
How does anyone do that?
Well, game 3 was fun. I put a Blood Moon out and it would go sat there for like 12 turns, just discarding a hand size. And then I finally drew my second Plains before he drew his first, so I killed him with Flage. It was a good time.
Modern's so stupid sometimes. Oh my gosh. So were the balance RCQs, were they 2 slaughters or 1 slaughters?
2 slaughters.
2 slaughters. Okay,
yeah. So
you had an epic Blood Moon game 3 and then scoop for credit.
Yeah.
Did you scoop someone cool?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Eugene.
Oh, this guy. I don't know who that is.
Who?
Some guy named Eugene. Shout out Eugene from Tampa, Florida.
I saw Eugene get name dropped. Who is Eugene?
We don't know.
All right.
He's a cool guy.
This is going so well. Julianne, I believe in you. Julianne, Ron, tell me about this road trip. Tell me what happened on Sunday.
Well, it was Saturday, but time is, a construct, so whatever. But basically, I went to the second balance RCQ and went 0-3 and was like having a terrible time.
Were you playing Energy?
Yeah, I was playing Energy, and then I asked my dad, Ron, if he wanted to go to this RCQ in Homosassa. And
for those of you not in the know, I live on the north part of Tampa Bay, in Pasco County, and Homosassa is an hour north of me.
So it was like 2 hours away from me, but it was 3. This RCQ started at 6. I don't know. Something was telling me to go. So then
Definitely wasn't me.
So I picked him
Nick
up.
was like, "You're 20 minutes from home. You're 2 hours from Hafafasa. Do the math."
Yeah. So I decided to go. Picked up Ron on the way. It was the drive.
Oh
was,
wait, so Ron wasn't at Balance. You just grabbed your dad on the way to this RCQ?
Yes.
Yeah, she just rolled by the house. She was like, okay.
I think she was under the impression that she would be chauffeured, but instead she was the chauffeur.
Hey, I offered.
No, she was just like, get in, gamer. We're going.
Yeah, she said, and she even
didn't
called him
stop.
Ron.
She didn't even stop. She opened the door and said, "Jump in!"
Yeah, I had to run really fast and dive into the car.
Yeah, round 1, my opponent was wearing an Amulet Titan t-shirt. So I texted Nick really quick and I was like, "Oh, I'm playing round 1, get to play against Titan. What a fun start." Turns out he was on Neoform, which I don't know if that's better or worse.
That's so toxic. Wears Amulet Titan shirt, plays Neoform.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I also
That's such
have
a
a question because there was no judge here, right?
Yeah.
How many people are here? So there's no judge.
It was 8 people.
8 people, no judge. Did like the store owner know how to play Magic, or was
Yes.
it? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for setting the scene.
Yeah, the store owner definitely knew how to play Magic. Definitely played Magic, like maybe not recently, but in years past. And he was not technologically savvy, so the event got run through Melee, so that was also an interesting start. But besides that, vibes were good. So yeah, played round 1, played against Neoform against the Amulet Titan t-shirt, and I beat him game 1 because I just had a really good Galvanic Discharge. Like, he played an Allosaurus Rider and then passed, and I was like, okay, Galvanic Discharge? And you're like, oh yeah. I'm like, great.
He
And then-
played Ryder and passed?
Yeah,
What
that
are
was
we
very.
doing?
I was like, okay.
That's how they do it in Hafafasa.
Tempo King.
And then game 2, I just decided to risk it and play a turn 2 high noon, and it didn't get countered, and it didn't get Boseju'd, and so then he didn't do anything. So, yeah.
Gotta force him to have it.
I got to play him round 2 right after Julianne did. Yeah.
How did that
And
go?
not well. I did win game 2, which was probably one of the more interesting games I've played in a while. I kept a 1-lander, and but I had a guide and 2 pride in my hand, and I'm like, oh, I'm sure to draw a land here eventually. And for 6 turns, I did not draw a land, but yet guide, pride, and him stalled. I ended up winning. So just kept beating him down. And then when I drew the second land, it's like, oh, here's an Ajani. Here's a Goblin Bombardment. You're dead. So, but I ended up losing the match overall because the next game he just, turn 3, I'm going to do 28 damage to you. Oh, yeah, I'll stop that with my 2 cats. I don't think so.
Good old Neoform. Best deck to happen to Modern since Amulet Titan.
Yeah, it's a very toxic deck. So, was this, 3 rounds of Swiss and then top 8? Was this, what was the tournament structure? Did you play 2.5 rounds of Swiss?
Could you imagine 3 rounds of Swiss at the 8-man cut to top 8? We play for seeding, and then we play.
It was 3 rounds of Swiss.
Wait,
cut to top 4.
Yes.
It was actually.
They did
3 rounds of Swiss cut to top 4.
Top 4.
So, round 2, I played against Dimir Murktide, and it was my round 1 opponent from the Balance RCQ that morning. And I lost to him, but then I beat him. So I got my redemption. I talked with Nick a little bit, after the matchup, just back and forth, because I ended up playing against Dimir, Oculus, Murktide, Frog 4 times this weekend, and I only beat it once. So, we talked about
the one that mattered, though.
I was going to say, you beat it the time that counted.
So then, in round 3, I drew, because it was a cut to top 4, so,
Classic?
Then we go to sit.
Hold on. Something I didn't know. Were you first seed or were you second seed?
I was first seed.
She was first seed on Breakers by this much.
Came up because the second seed didn't refresh Melee, so they thought they were the first, because we had the exact same game win percentage, the exact same the second percentage, but I had a higher opponent game win percentage. So
good thing Ron lost the Neoform player, because if not,
yeah. So then,
you're welcome.
Semifinals, I sit down and I'm playing against Grixis Dredge, and
that was another fellow 03 dropper at the other RCQ.
Oh yeah, that was also about a fellow Balance gamer.
Man was deep in his bag.
At least 3 people drove from Balance to...
No, to clarify, all but me, I think, drove from Balance up to this RCQ, and there is no way it would have fired if that would not have happened.
Yeah, there was
so
a
funny.
whole squad of 5, I think 4 or 5 people.
5 of them at least.
Yeah. So yeah, Grixis Dredge, really good matchup for energy, especially when you Thraben Charm them after they hit their wonder and all of their stuff, and so that was pretty good. And then game 2, he mulliganed a bunch, did not get Leyline of Sanctity, so then I just won. He did, to be fair, he did get very unlucky because he played a Faithless Looting and discarded some lands, drew a bunch of Dredge creatures, and then he'd play another self-mill spell, mill a bunch of lands, draw a bunch of Dredge creatures. So his deck was working opposite of how he wanted it to work.
I don't know how that deck works. I don't want to know how that deck works.
And then,
dude, such a zoomer. Such a magic zoomer.
And the finals I got to play against Izzet Murktide.
So, whoa.
2023 is back!
Come on, where's the drama? How are we skipping right from right from the semis to
Because
the
it's
finals.
Julianne. She's not about the drama.
Discord was blowing up.
She gave us every detail of the Neo4 match, but doesn't give us the most exciting
Nick
tea
was
yet.
pissed.
So
I tagged Nick. I realized something was definitely not right when I tagged Nick and I was like, "Yo, you gotta post the Game-O trios in all your Discords. You gotta advertise it." And you just respond, "Okay." I was like, oh shit! Let me I gotta check all the other channels and servers and stuff. Something's up.
So what had happened was,
also, to set the scene, I was sick this weekend, which is why I was not at any of these RCQs. So
also to set the scene, this is the first time I'm hearing about any of this because apparently I just don't read Discord. I didn't even know that this was happening, so I'm actually very invested in this.
Okay. So for Jacob and Jacob only, here's the story.
Fans.
Yeah, I was gonna say none of the listeners.
This is for Peter Handy. This is for
Andrew Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. So we go and we sit down at top 4, and first off, the people next to me, they tried to roll for their match, and so my opponent was like high roll, and I was like, I'll take the play, and he was like, what? And I was like, I'm highest seed, this is top 4, I get choice.
Why are you so mean to the casual 2019 Dredge player?
I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just trying to explain the situation because
we started with I'm on the play.
Roll for high, I'll be on the play.
Poor guy's never heard of a highest seed before.
There's no way. These guys drove 2.5 hours from Orlando, got a hotel all weekend to do balance, and then drove all the way up there. They are not just casual players.
Because he's hyped to play 2016 Dredge again. I wouldn't blame the guy.
The year keeps getting older.
Yeah, 2019 Dredge wasn't very popular because back then Hogak was the best deck. Also, Phoenix was very good.
This story is taking forever. The listeners are like, what is the story? What interesting is happening?
Okay, so then we're playing, and
well, did the other match, did they actually roll for who goes first, or
no? So after I said that, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's how it works." So then the second seed was like, "I'll be on the play." So I joggled their memory. So then we're sitting there, and the 3 of them are all just chatting, and they're like super excited, and they say, oh yeah, one of us 3, like one of us, like we're walking out with an invite. And I was like, 3? I'm number 4, what do you mean?
It makes me a little suspicious that this die roll thing was planned.
I don't think so, but
no, okay,
right. I don't know. So anywho, I finished beating the Grixis Dredge player. Nothing really eventful happened. We already talked about that. And so he gets up, he walks away, and I go to text Nick, one more match, I'm there. And I overhear, while they're sideboarding for game 3, the person sitting next to me asks his friend, how's your Boros matchup? And his friend is like, Boros? Really good. And instead of saying, something that you should be saying, he was like, okay, we'll talk about it. And then the guy across from him was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I'll think about it. We'll talk about it. So then I was like, I'm glued to my chair. I'm locked in. I am watching this third game. If the winner of this match does not pretty instantly just get up to come over and play me, or say, if they sit down and they start talking about trying to coordinate, who's actually going to get the win to try to beat me, we were going to have a problem. So that was the collusion. And then this whole time I was texting Nick, to make sure that what I was hearing what I thought was potentially could get, out of scope was right, and that it could get out of scope. So then he was like, yeah. And then I texted my dad because he was sitting a couple tables back, and then he walked over and sat across from me. So then we were both like watching their match, and then they kind of shut up after that. So, yeah.
Daddy bear mode kicks in, I guess.
So they just played their match. The guy who won, and then they played you, and it was like clean.
Yeah, and then that was pretty much it.
So did the guy who said he was favored win, or did the other guy win?
The guy who said he was favored won.
And how'd that work out for him?
Not good. Obviously, because I won.
Julianne, you're supposed to say, yeah, I cranked him. That's what you should have said. I cranked him.
Well, what ended up happening was game 3, I baited him to tap out with a Thraben charm. And then he passed, and he was at a pretty low life total, so I played a Goblin Bombardment, and he goes, okay, yeah. And then I played in a Johnny, and he was like, oh, wait. Well, I already said yes. And I was like, yeah, no Uno reverses, no takes and backsies. Because he had a Force of Negation in hand, he just didn't look at his hand. So then he was like,
he had a force in his... I was sitting where I could see his place, because his buddy that he had just beat stayed sitting beside Julianne and was kind of like watching her cards and everything while she was playing. And I'm like, well, fine, I'm going to sit here and make sure you're not, signaling or whatever. And from the very get-go, like, he had that in his opener.
My favorite part about these stories is I love to review them analytically. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, 2022 is a Murktide, right? They played a Force Negation only in the sideboard, not the main board. So this man saw the Boros Energy deck and was like, you know what? I want to board in Force Negation for this matchup. Boards it in, keeps it in the opener, and then decides, you know what? I am not going to Force Negation the Goblin Bombardment, the only non-creature card in the deck. We're not using it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, what are you saving it for if you're not hitting Goblin Bombardment?
He's got bigger fish to fry. All right,
yeah.
It's like Galvanic Discharge if it was in the deck. Probably not. Thraben Charm if it's in the deck. He's like, I'm gonna get that static poison. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, my Murktide's gonna live.
Yeah.
If she blood moves me and my 2 islands in play, Force Negation's coming in clutch.
My theory, given the way Julianne told the story, is that he was like, Goblin Bombardment, who cares? And then Julianne plays a Johnny, and he goes, oh shit, I care.
Probably.
That, actually, very, very short aside. The first time I saw the card Goblin Bombardment was like playing Vintage Cube on Moto for free with QPs, and someone plays Goblin Bombardment against me, and I was like, how many goblins could possibly be in their cube deck? So I'm like, sure, resolves. And then like randomly they sacrifice some other creature and flip some other creature, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? And I reread the card, and I was like, oh, that's a lot better.
I told Julianne I deserved an Oscar because, of course, I'm trying not to show anything to her, and I'm just Mr. Stoic Face.
So
and he chooses not.
Johnny resolves, and
they
die.
Johnny resolves. At the time I had 2 Guided Souls, an Oscillate Pride, a Bombardment, and a Johnny. I just kind of jumped my 2, like a Pride, a Guide, put him down to I think 5, and he didn't have anything in play. I killed his 1 creature. So then I passed, and after that, it was pretty much just an instantaneous scoop. So.
What was in this guy's hand? Like, if he kept that hand, and like so you're saying you had 3 creatures in play in a Bombardment, and then resolved a Johnny. What did they have? We'll never know.
I don't remember the full opener, but I do remember that he had a counterspell and a force in his opener.
And what? A cameo and 4 lands? Like I keep that against Boros Energy.
Jay, I don't know if you knew, Cameo is not legal in 2022.
Again, we go
so
further back in time.
Is the reason why we're saying 2022 isn't Murktide is this dude literally like picked up a box from 2022 of Murktide and just like brought it?
I don't.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there,
So-
but Psychic Frog came out. I don't think he's aware of that, so he was playing his 2022 Isn't Murktide. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
I mean, Mangu still plays Isn't Murktide. Like, is
The
he
content
like?
creator?
Actually,
Okay.
and he had a Murktide in his hand too.
Okay, that's a little better. I'll give him some props. But I'm like, this
He
seems a little
He
sketchy.
did also play a Ragavan at one point, but I pretty much killed it.
I would have kept 6 lands Pyroclasm over that hand, like, all day.
He was flexing his pyroclasms.
So yeah, anywho, that was my RCQ win.
Very
So
good.
now, W count. Nick and Julianne both double queued, ready to rock and roll. Evan, did you scooped away your invite, or did you get an invite earlier in the season?
I scooped away my invite. The finals match I would have gone on to on Friday was against Infect, so I feel like I would have been all right. So
Nice.
I'm gonna say I scooped it away.
All right, nice. And then I stayed steady at one invite. I will not be going to Houston. I'm going to Spotlight Liverpool, which I am exceedingly excited about. So that's why I scooped away the invite in both of those RCQs where I went 5-0. And then I get to tell the story of my Friday night now, which was quite funny. So I drove up north, not as far north as or wherever Julian and Ron went.
Homosassa?
Homosassa, where the manatees are.
Yeah, it's there. So I, as it happens, was 20 minutes north of Golden Fang. And I knew how far north of Golden Fang I was because the store championship started at 6 and Golden Fang started at 7. But Golden Fang always starts late. And I was thinking, if not many people show up at this store championship, there's a world where I just like double dip. And there's like 7 of us at the store championship. And I'm playing sideboardless Leyline because the BNR just broke my soul. The deck was pretty fun, pretty cool. I had a good time. A lot of people online had a good time playing the deck, but I played against Mono Red. And Nick, do you remember the store championship at Golden Fang with Urza Saga, the guy that I played against who doesn't shuffle his deck?
Yeah.
So I'm going to demonstrate for the stream. What he does is he takes half his deck, and then there's this, and then he goes like this. And he just does this over and over again. And that's how he shuffles his deck. And I was at this store championship, like, during the Urza Saga time. I'm watching him do that, and I just, like, looking at him and looking at like my eyes are gonna pop out of my head. I like couldn't believe it, but I kid you not, it was that exactly. The deck is just not it's not getting shuffled at all. So like it's awkward because it's like, well, store champions are competitive, but they're like regular REL. But I was like, I'm shuffling his deck, but I didn't shuffle it like as much as a deck needs to be shuffled. So I give it a few shuffles, and he just had infinite removal, and I just died because my deck was mediocre. Monstrous Rage, R.I.P. Heartfire Hero, R.I.P. So I lost in round 1, and I was like, Holden, get my Death Shadow for me. And I hit the road. I call Golden Fang. I'm like, I'm on my way. I'll only be 10 minutes late. They waited for me. I assumed that they would be waiting for other people, but they actually waited for me, which was crazy. I couldn't believe that. Meanwhile, I'm like texting with Mike because I don't have Flage. I don't have Elegant Parlor. So like, Mike writes out my deck list, gets the Flages. He forgot the Elegant Parlor. Steven's like, I have 2 Elegant Parlors in my deck. Pulls an Elegant Parlor out of his deck for me, scratches it off, adds a mountain to the deck, and I didn't like realize he went through all that until like it was too late for me to do. I just like roll in, get the cards, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. But you know, Steven's that nice, and he was like, dude, I'm pretty sure you're the one who told me to put the second parlor in the deck anyway, so it was kind of like fate, and I'm like, nice. So yeah, roll in last minute, throw the last cards in the deck. I wanted to buy a parlor. The store didn't have any. So, round one, play against Mardu Energy. Just complete blowout. Round two, play against... Don't remember, and I want to be efficient. So I won round two, and then round three... I play against Dwayne, and I don't want to tell the full story because I don't know how much like is public or whatever. But basically, he's like trying to go to an RC for the first time. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was just all right. I'll scoop. So I scooped to Dwayne in round three, so he could draw into top 8 because he hadn't been to an RC yet. And I like Dwayne, so I decided I wanted to scoop to him. And then I was like, it's fine. I'll just like win in round 4 and draw in anyway. And then round 4, I get paired with Steven, and I was like, there's no shot I'm gonna beat Steven after he pulled an elegant parlor out of his deck for me. And I'm like, it's fine. There's like low 20s. It was 24 people, I guess, at the RCQ. And I was like, I'm like, oh, I played against Dale in round 2 on Stock Prowess. I was like, it's fine. If I scoop 2 people into top 8, like, my breakers are great. I went win-win, loss-loss. I'll just win in round 5 and be the 8th seed. So I had the best breakers going into round 5. I played against Storm. I beat Storm. And, yeah, I think I had a 5 percentage point buffer between 8th and 9th. So... made top 8, and then obviously I've been to 2 events at this point. I was out past curfew, so to speak, and we decided to split top 8. So I was just like, all right, good night, and I was home before midnight. So I went win, scoop, win, split top 8, and scoop, get home before midnight. Very, very happy with my 13-0 run to end Modern RCQ season. I have never been a big Modern guy, and now my like best RCQ season ever is Modern. So, pretty excited. And honestly, I'm like, I would love to go to Houston because it's the Sooner RC, and I feel confident that like Jeskai Prowess will still be really good at that time. But I can't, miss the opportunity to go to Liverpool. That's going to be awesome.
So yeah, who won?
What?
Do you know who won?
Dale on Stock Prowess took it down. I think I was his only loss. Yeah. Oh, there was actually game 3 was really funny. He played Steel Cutter, and then I mean we were like having a good time. I thought he passed the turn, so I like fetch my Surveil land. I go to Surveil, and then I go to draw card. He's like, hold on, I'm not done. And I'm like, huh? He's like, bobble, make a dude attack you. I'm like, I was sure you passed that. Okay, whatever. So he attacks me, and then I go to my turn. I pending the Steel Cutter, and then I'm tapped out because I was on the draw. And he goes like Slick Shot something. I'm at 9. And then like as he passes the turn, he's like checking. He was like doing some math, and he's like, by the way, I'm gonna deal 17 damage next turn. And I was like, land, DRC, bolt, Slick Shot, pending your token, pass. I have a 3/3 flyer. You don't have a board. I don't know how you're gonna deal 17. I mean, we were having a good time.
It was magic. It threw magic.
It would have been really funny if he like dealt 17 anyway. He was like, Stanley, I'm on your tech. I got Monstrous Rage. Like, we were laughing, having a good time, but yeah, I'm gonna deal 17 next turn. I was gonna take that line anyway, so it's not like he kind of affected the game by telling me how strong his hand was, but it was like, yeah, bro, I know I'm gonna die if I don't deal with your board. So that was pretty funny, and then I eventually won that game, obviously. So yeah, Modern. Anyone else want to talk about Modern?
I yesterday went to an event and I brought blue-red artifacts, which is like the cutter deck with Mox Opal and the Tamiyo Memory package. And I was very excited to play this deck. And then my good friend Andrew Thomas comes up to me and he hands me his deck, and he hands me. I see a Gyruda Companion to start off, and just to paint the picture for how Andrew's vibe is his Gyruda was in a top loader, his sideboard was in a plastic bag, and all of this was in a deck box that could barely fit it all. And this deck ends up being Gyruda Cheerios, which for probably 5 minutes I was like, okay, yeah, I'll play this. Like, there's no high stakes. Like, it still has Cutter and Mox Opal in it. Like, that's what I came here to do. But then I had the foresight to decide to goldfish this deck a little bit, and then he was like, "It's not good, is it?" I'm like, "No, it's really not." I was like drawing 7 cards in one turn, and then doing nothing. I was like, "Wow, this is interesting."
Draw 7, pass.
Yeah, draw 7, discard 5 lands. Your go. I don't know. But. And Andrew, he's a very adamant brewer. He built the
Andrew's
yeah, we love Andrew's the nuts. He built the mono black burn deck that was featured on Seth's channel 2 years ago.
Love it.
But I think it was mono black. It was because
yeah, he had Soul Spike, I think. If that has
Soul Spike,
it was definitely mostly mono black. He had red because he had
Grove of the Burn Willows. He had what?
Lutri, the companion.
Yeah, Lutri the companion and
Bone Crusher Giant.
No. Oh yeah, he main decked Lutri in this deck. Yep. Yeah. And he had Grove of the Burn Willows to turn on I think it's called Needle Spike. It's some card from the original Zendikar.
Needle Bite Trap.
Yeah, Needle Bite, because it's one of the traps from Zendikar where it's if your opponent gained life this turn, it's only costs 1 mana, and it's target player loses 5, you gain 5 for 6 normally, but it's 1 if your opponent gained life this turn. So yeah, long story short, Andrew
you gain 1 life, now you lose 5.
Yeah, exactly. You get 1 life, I get 5, and you lose 4. But he's a very, very adamant brewer. He was playing Sorin Morofin combo yesterday. And I was like, oh yeah, I know this deck. You Sorin, you put a Morofin in play, then you name Sliver, and you put a Sliver Hive Lord in play. And he's like, no, you think you know what I'm doing. He puts a Morofin in play, and he names Bringer. I'm like, what is a Bringer? And I guess Bringer are these creatures from some set a long time ago, before I was even playing, that they cost 9 mana, or you can spend 1 of each color to cast them. So that Morofin casts them for free. They have some weird start of upkeep effect for all of them. So that's what Andrew was playing yesterday. He also had Warren Instigator in this deck, so you can go turn 2 Warren Instigator off an Arena of Glory and put a Morofin in play off of that. I know Stanley's Googling these cards as we speak. But yeah. Had to shout out the boy, because he has some wild ideas, that's for sure.
Stanley's not the only one Googling them.
Morofin is a changeling that's 7 colorless mana.
It's okay.
And
we get the vibe.
I'm gonna, for the viewers. They
get the vibe. No, you can tell us.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright. So 7 colorless, and when it comes into play, you name a creature type, and then the creature of that type costs 1 of each color less. So then you can put 5 mana, 1 of each color cards into play for free. So yeah.
Like an Omnath, but 5 mana instead of 4?
Yeah.
It also gives those creatures +1/+1.
Yeah, because that's the important part of the card.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember what colored what bringer he had?
I do. The blue one and the black one. He said the others were bad. So
Bringer of the Blue Dawn and Bringer of the Black Dawn.
who could have guessed? But yeah.
5/5. Bringer of the Blue Dawn. 5/5. Trample at the beginning of upkeep. You may draw 2 cards.
You may. So if your opponent's a Bowmaster play, might not want to.
And Bringer of the Black Dawn is 5/5 trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 life. If you do, search your library for a card, then shuffle your library, put that card on top of it. And yeah, their normal cost is 7 and 2 black and 7 and 2 blue. Things were expensive back in the old days, huh?
Oh yeah. Nowadays, that card would be what, like 3 mana?
It's like opposite of inflation.
Oh boy. Alrighty, so goodbye, Modern Season. You were surprisingly great, honestly. Modern for like 97% of the time I've been playing Magic, Modern has been like so toxic, and just Prowess has been pretty much unplayable, and Burn has been playable at times, but Modern Burn never really like felt super fun to me. It just felt like, cast a few spells and alright, my opponent died. Nice. Thanks for fetch shocking. But feels pretty like not toxic right now, besides the few like, neoforms or what have you, but it feels the least toxic Modern has ever felt for me. So I'll actually miss Modern Season a little bit. But Standard got eviscerated by some bans. So in case you forgot, Corey Steelcutter, Monstrous Rage, and Hardfire Hero all got banned. Abuelo's Awakening got banned. Up the Beanstalk got banned. Hopeless Nightmare and This Town Ain't Big Enough got banned. So, going archetype by archetype, Corey still got banned. We expected that. Izzet is still fantastic. Nick has been jamming the Izzet, VV, Cauldron, Banana Pants, Wild Zoology deck that is pretty insane. He'll talk about that later. So is it still cooking wild craziness, just doing it without Steelcutter? So I'm not playing Izzet anymore. My favorite card got killed. I mean, not unreasonably so, but I'm still a little sad. Also in red, Monstrous Rage and Hardfire Hero. This was a pretty big gut punch, to be honest. I did not expect those 2 cards to get banned. Ron?
In memoriam.
Yeah. I was expecting Manifold Mouse to get banned. Maybe I gave a little bit too much credit to the ban team and how much they understand the engines of the various decks, but Manifold Mouse is what made Mono Red unreasonably powerful. I don't think Rage needed to go, and Heartfire Hero definitely took a stray bullet just because they hate me and Nick. They call out, the aggro combo decks are too good. It was, Adam in Dallas using my deck to turn 3 people with all right, plot Ruckus, plot Slickshot, all right, Slickshot, Ruckus, Monstrous Rage, Double Strike, you're dead. And then, Nick took Leyline and went, okay, Monstrous Rage, turn inside out, fling, you're dead. And they just aggro combo's too good. And
it is a really specific statement, which I find very funny. It's aggro combo, there's only 2 aggro combos I can even think of. Mono Red, Prowess, not really aggro combo, they're kind of just aggro, so pretty interesting.
They were really I know they weren't screw those 2 in particular, but it sure felt that way. That has been my signature archetype since Thunder Junction was printed. We have been doing broken little aggro combo things, And like those decks won major tournaments, but they never like picked up widespread play because they're hard to play. That's part of the reason like we loved those decks so much, is because they were like incredibly powerful, but it was also like high stakes Magic where if you make mistakes, you get punished. That's one of the things that's like so cool about Monstrous Rage, is it creates these really interesting and difficult scenarios to navigate through.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I mean,
Now my
I
opponent
say,
has a 1/1, and my Cacophony Scamp is textless.
I mean, I would just say that they probably shouted out aggro combo because they were like, it's unfun play patterns. It's the same reason why they probably banned This Town Isn't Big Enough. Like, playing against Esper Pixie produces unfun play patterns for what is to be considered the gateway into competitive Magic for most players, which is standard because it's arena supported. I mean,
yeah, I understand.
They could care less about unfun play patterns in Eternal formats, so it's just the gateway drug that they care about. So
yeah,
I have a feeling they just
aren't there.
I just feel like they listen to the masses, because a big problem I have with like BNR teams is they just like look at the data and none of them play comp Magic, so they're like, okay, well this is the whatever. Which I mean, I was on the 50-50, either they nuke the format or they just ban Steel Cutter and let everything resolve itself, which I have thoughts going forward after we're done talking about this BNR about what I think is going to be the best deck, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get the like unfun play pattern thing, but yeah, they were just listening to social media because like the aggro combo, there's just not nearly the number of players that would like anywhere near merit a ban on like Leyline. And what would have happened is the same thing that happened every time Leyline got popular. JED made Leyline popular, a bunch of people played it and went, oh, this deck's not good because it's hard. And then like Nick and I played Leyline and a bunch of people tried to play it and a few more people stuck to it this time, but most people were like, this deck's not good because it's hard. And the same exact thing would have happened. Like if Heartfire Hero lived and somehow Leyline was what we thought was the best aggro deck, a bunch of people would play it and go, this deck's not good. And like it would just be a few people who like really understand the archetype playing it. They already banned Leyline in Best of One. Anyway, I'll get off my like I can't believe Heartfire Hero died and Manifold Mouse didn't. Like Heartfire Hero Rage is worst case scenario and then some. Like if it was Manifold Rage or Manifold and Hero, it would have been like not fine, but like at least we have something. The like complete kill shot on aggro combo, very sad for me personally.
My like two biggest issues with either the Monstrous Rage Heartfire Hero ban thing was 2 points. I think that there always needs to be a monocolored aggro deck that's playable in standard, because monocolored decks don't require a lot of money for entry to play. So when I was a broke high school kid playing Magic in 2012, 2013, the only decks I played are aggro decks because they were cheap to build. And so I don't think we're going to have that. Like, I keep looking at Edge of Eternity spoilers, and there's really nothing that impresses me, so I don't really care, except for, like, the Rock Lobster, but we'll talk about that later. It's not impressing me. I just like the card. It looks cool. The other thing is, like, I hate on social media when people I know for a fact who have literally never played a red deck in their life want to talk about, like, how easy it is to play red decks, X, Y, and Z things, right? Where it's like, and Nick is a perpetrator of this, because I remember in like 2015, 2016, 2017, he's like, the red decks take no skill to play. And I was like, all right, okay, bucko. You're casting Siege Rhino off Bring to Light. I don't want to hear it. You ain't never cast any of these cards before in your life. And then I remember this man registers the card Goblin Rabble Master, and he's like, these decks are hard to play. And I was like, yeah. Well, why do you think I keep playing that? I was like, they're cheap, but like they're not easy. Like, it's hard to navigate how to play these red decks. So, like, when people were just like... One of the
coolest things that happened, like, early on in Nick and I's friendship was him saying something to the effect of, like, you make me want to get better at red decks. Like, you're doing stuff that I, like, that is not what I would expect at all. And kind of, like, inspired him a little to be like, there's more to this. You can you could really like cook people and do some cool stuff. I remember after like a Pioneer RCQ at some point, like I played against Rakdos mid range, and Nick goes, "You just made Rakdos mid range look like a bad deck," and it's like supposed to be favored against red, so fun.
Your Pioneer red deck was the most unplayable pile of Magic cards I've ever seen in my life. But then every time I talk to you, oh, I went undefeated at the RCQ. I'm like, how?
I
Goblin
think
Chainwhirler has not been playable since 2019.
There's levels to it. Like, it's like, when there's like people who are like I think Bosch and Roll is like one of the biggest perpetrators of it, or examples I should say, where he's just like, yeah, I registered this deck for Vintage Champs. I thought it was terrible, but I won the Lotus. Like, and it's like, because he's really good at playing Vintage, that's why. So there's levels to it. It's like, I remember Nick and I growing up watching the SCG Open Tour, and it's like, how did Tom Ross win an Open with a deck that cost $30? Literally bulk, like, a Foundry Street Denizen won an Invitational. And, like, the deck was terrible. It called it Boss Lie. And it's like, how did this deck... And it's like, because Tom Ross, he's just the best red player in the world. Of course he's going to win the tournament. Like, there's levels to it.
So... Anyway, back to bans. One thing we talked about before the BNR was basically like either ban Core Steel Cutter or nuke the format. Anything in between is going to be kind of not cool. And, they did at least, do that. I think a lot of people had that feeling. And, up the Beanstalk. Losing that hurts those big mana Overlord decks a lot. Abuelos is kind of a meme. They've really just like made that combo cost one more, so like the combo is one turn slower, but the format is like a turn and a half slower. Now the 5 mana card rotates, so like after rotation it'll be fine, but the Abuelos ban feels a little bit memey, but they did hit Omni pretty hard. And then taking down Hopeless Nightmare and This Town, which, like, I don't know if anyone, like, guessed if that Hopeless Nightmare might get banned.
Someone did. Winnie on Twitter. I remember seeing it.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people who were leaning towards them nuking the whole format, I think, read the room pretty well, that if they don't ban anything from Pixie, like, Pixie...
Yeah. This Town is what I was expecting. I was like looking at This Town and Nowhere to Run. Like,
but I think Wizards' thought process there is they didn't want like an abrasive white-black Pixie deck to remain.
I'm so happy that they chose Hope. Like that's a banger. Like,
speaking of Omniscience, I completely forgot it existed. Did not prepare for it. Lost to it at Store Champs. I was like, oh my! I was like, this deck still exists. And exactly. I lost game 1 because they literally went like turn 1 Meticulous Archive, flip an Omniscience to their graveyard, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
and then
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the Ablelos ban real. Is literally a meme for like this month. They're like, we banned Ablelos, kind of. Like it's just.
I think it's a great ban. I think Abuelos was the best ban because if you don't ban Abuelos, then you have people just putting stupid Knights of the Round Table to play on turn 4 and still winning like the same number of games.
I agree, but they should have also banned like that 5 mana one as well, or something like that. Like literally, they were like, we weakened Omniscience combo a lot. It's a turn slower, but we slowed down the format by like 2 turns, so we didn't actually weaken it for this month. Like I agree with the Abuelos ban, but it's just kind of like a short term meme.
People know that I'm looking at Standard through the lens of like not this month. Like, literally like this time period is the most worthless time period ever to me. I've been playing Arena with post rotation decks ever since the BNR came out. And people are like, "Oh, why aren't you playing this card? Shivan Reef? That card's not in Standard." Like,
I didn't qualify for any RC, and I mean I could this weekend if I wanted to go to an RCQ, but I'm actually just like probably going to go to Baltimore instead, which is the Spotlight in Baltimore Standard, and I've exclusively, because it's like the weekend after Houston, so I was like, I'm going to pick or choose a weekend to go to, and I'd rather just drive 6 hours than fly across the country, and it's, I don't know, I maybe I'll just prepare to play Dimir Mirrors for 15 rounds, I don't know, but
yeah,
I have a best deck in my head, and it feels really, really good. I just haven't found like the sweet spot for it yet, and there's only like 2 cards that rotate out.
Speaking of Dimir dodged a ban. Mono White dodged a ban. Those decks been tearing up challenges. Decks been really unfun to play against.
Well, Mono White hasn't. Mono White still sucks.
Oh, it sucks again?
But,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's done well in any challenge. I mean, technically, Mono White won a modern challenge, but not a standard one.
Was doing very well at challenges early on. Holden has won like $1,600 in City of Brasses on Mono White. Like, that guy just keeps winning. That's the thing. Like, we don't care about standard right now, but then also, like, Store Championships have a $400 promo, so a lot of
super
people
high
do
EV. Death Shadows are $50. Aperidanes are 18. Like, go play in your Store Champ.
Yeah,
super
so
high
that's
EV.
why you should be aware that the Abuelo's ban, Omni's still there. It's still there. It's definitely still there. Yeah, Dimir did not take a ban. I don't know. Once the initial shock has worn off, I found a deck that I like. Nick found a deck that he likes. Jacob apparently has some secret deck that he keeps alluding to that he likes. Julianne lost this town and Beanstalk from Crabby Sea Creatures. What are you doing? How are you coping?
Nick literally asked me yesterday. He was like, "Oh, Store Championship on Friday. What do you want to play in Standard?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't care. Like, rotation happens in 2 weeks. Edge of Eternities comes out in 2 weeks. My deck got nuked. Like,
Yeah.
just cards."
She got hit by friendly fire pretty hard, unfortunately. Yeah. Like, she fell into the category. I think it was maybe Brian Kibler that put out a video about banning beans, but like then he said like the problem with banning beans is you ban like these other decks that are really cool, and her deck was one of those decks that's really cool.
Yeah, I was doing like, I mean, I was casting cards for cheap to trigger beans, but I was doing like the least broken beans things of beans decks, so yeah.
I feel your pain. I took a deck with 15 islands in my sideboard to a Store Champ, so I was equally lost. Legitimately had 15 islands in the sideboard. Just couldn't even muster a sideboard. That's where I was. That's where I was at as recently as like 2 days ago. So, yeah, that's rough. I don't know.
I am excited for Standard.
Evan's excited. He's gonna play Mono White again.
I'm so excited for Mono White. I don't know if you could tell by my recant of my domain matchup in Modern, where we sat there with a Blood Moon on the field for 12 turns and just draw a discard. But I'm excited for a prison style deck, which is basically what Mono White is because they have a way to kill you. I'm excited.
I hate Mono White. Hate it.
I'm so excited to just sit across my opponent for 50 minutes.
For game
Mono
one.
White sucks.
Yep.
I am also excited for Standard, but like, not because of Mono White. I think you'd have to be crazy to be excited for Standard for Mono White. You, Holden, Chamwoods, you guys are different breeds. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think if you're registered out.
Crazy. That's known. Evan, I picked up a commander card for you at the Store Champ store. They had like, all kinds of cards that I was riffling through. I found a very funny commander card that I think you'll enjoy. So
I'm excited.
I hope I don't let you down. I hope you don't already have it.
Yeah, I don't think if you're not playing VV in post rotation, I think you might be wrong.
Yeah, like we talked about Dimir mid-range at Mono White, but I think it's actually very clear what the best deck is, and it's still blue-red.
Yeah, it's either so I know Nick's been playing the Soul Cauldron with the Thrill Seeker variant, which it loses Thrill Seeker post rotation.
No, I'm not playing Thrill Seeker. It rotates. It rotates.
In my head, when I looked at lists that are probably going to be happening post rotation, you're just going to turn into like a mid range value pile. That the only deck that does it better than you is Yuna, but that deck sucks.
He's Nick's playing. Nick's doing some stuff.
You get to play the card Draconautics Engineer instead of Voldaren Thrill Seeker, which honestly, in my opinion, might actually be better than Thrill Seeker. Against specifically Mono White, you kill them less. But generally, making 4/4s and giving them haste is just really good in fair matchups. So I would argue the deck actually loses nothing besides Shivan Reef, and I've been playing 3 starting towns and a 6th basic over Shimmer Reef, and it's been fine. I mean, starting town sucks, but like it's fine, you know. So I would be shocked at this point if I'm not playing that deck at Spotlight. I think something insane would have to come out of Edge, but I don't know. People talk about Edge being high powered, and I'm looking at these cards and I think it sucks. So I don't know if I'm crazy or if like I'm missing something. But yeah, I think very clearly Blue-Red Cauldron is the best thing to be doing. I don't really understand the Blue-Red Prowess deck very much. Like, whenever I cast VV in that deck, it's just like 3 mana do nothing. Like, I really like the Cauldron deck because when I play VV on turn 3 and it dies, it's almost good for me. Versus, like, the Prowess deck relies on the VV living, which is like, what are we doing? So
well, you play Cauldron in your 75 regardless. So
you
it's
do,
like,
but it's yeah, you do, but it's
I mean,
like one main and then a
one
second
in the
side.
sideboard.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Turns out most of the time I've cast VV on turn 3, my opponent just never kills it, and then they lose to it, which
That's
has just
very
been insane to me. And then, like, you essentially get to create this, like, it's not an infinite loop, but if you, like, get out with enough mana in play, both your talents back, then you can just, like, keep rebuying get out and then triggering over and over again, and you essentially create this engine of value that, like, no one can beat. And yeah,
I do think that deck is like good. I just like I don't know when I play the Cauldron deck and when I play that deck, I'm like I don't know. Cauldron just looks so much better to me. But yeah,
I just like the cards that you get to play in the. I don't know. I have to test both, but in the specifically the Blue-Red Prowess list, I've been liking Planisphere a lot.
It is Prowess.
It's a Prowess deck. It plays talent. It's got the card. You know,
got Stormchaser's
killed
talent.
more people with
Astrologian's
otters than
Planisphere.
anything else. Like, all right, Blue-Red Tempo, Blue-Red VV, whatever we want to call it.
Dude,
but
can I say something? I don't understand why Stanley hates this deck. This deck is like literally what Prowess was.
It's like
he's just coping over what he lost.
I know.
Prowess slowly like transformed into, but like as we talked about, if I was at the Pro Tour, I would have been like Ningu and I would have not played VV. Like I would have like played a leaner Prowess version of the deck that is like plan A is to kill your opponent fast, and like you have access to all these very powerful like selection and card advantage spells to like if you don't kill your opponent fast, it's not a big deal, but you're still like playing 4 Swift Spears and like playing an aggressive game of Magic where you start the game as the aggressor and then you like trade roles and play an interesting game of Magic and inevitably come out on top. So it's like it's just objectively they're not aggro decks. The whole like VV angle, like Jacob said, if you're not playing VV, you're wrong. Well, like you said, Nick, playing VV in Prowess is like doesn't make sense because you play it on turn 3 and it dies or it doesn't, and the game kind of like ends either way. So like VV is not really a Prowess card for that reason. So it's like very much the archetype slowly went from I was playing a Prowess deck that tried to win on turn 3 as consistently as possible, and then clearly that wasn't the best version, and the best version was to like play stock up and play more of the like powerful spells. I think we both agree that like Any Merc Crab was like part of the best version in what the meta eventually became. But like ultimately it just slowed down and slowed down and slowed down to the point where it's this like combo tempo deck, which is no longer the way I enjoy playing Magic at all. It's clearly a very powerful deck. It's just like I'm not interested in playing Magic that way. That's not the way I enjoy playing Magic. If I'm not playing aggro, like for whatever weird reason, the next in line is Control. Like some Garden Gnome, something Gnome posted like a disgusting Jeskai controlled list on Twitter recently, and I thought that looked kind of sick. I'm gonna find his name. Garden Gnomes is the name of it. Flesh-Eaten Gnome. He posted a pretty sick Jeskai control list. Anyway, it's a really cool deck. It's a fantastic deck. I want you guys to like talk about it. It's like super relevant content. It's just not the way I enjoy playing Magic. To me, like Prowess is aggressive, like Swift Spear style. I'm putting my creatures in play. I'm casting a flurry of spells, and you're dead or you're maimed. That's not the way that like blue-red plays right now because the other versions are clearly better. That's fine. It's just not the way I like to play. Why? What?
I don't know. I think Planisphere clocks your opponent pretty aggressively. Like if you're not just playing a BV on turn 3, but like I'm just telling you through the 150 games I've played so far with the deck that it just like most of the time I just play turn 1 talent, turn 2 Planisphere, and then I just like keep casting spells. And sometimes I'll play a VV and it lives, and then sometimes I gain infinite value. But most of the time I'm just out killing my opponent. And then I also cut
like
Enduring Curiosity.
If you have your like best 1-drop and your best 2-drop every game, in general, I mean you play aggro, right? So we play like 8 to 12 1-drops so we can consistently have them, and we play like 8 to 12 2-drops so we can consistently have them. So like if with your 4 1-drops and your 4 2-drops, you're always chaining them together, then bro, you're the GOAT, and that I get why you like are calling it a prowess thing, but.
Well, I just keep 0 landers and just draw. Like I keep
Is 150 games a real number?
It's like 112, I think. I gotta pull the thing up.
I don't think I played 112 games of Blue Red Prowess before the Pro Tour. That is an insane number of games to play a deck that's been
I get bored at work. I do nothing.
Dude,
I just
same.
sit there and do nothing.
112? Oh man, I think I played 23.
107. That's the number.
That's so many games. Holy
I get bored at work.
shizzle.
I gotta do something. I gotta contribute something to society.
Yeah,
Because
dude.
I'm not doing it at work.
I'm with you, dude. Beat those arena players, man. I can't stand them.
Yeah, I'm still in gold though, so it doesn't matter.
Still in gold. Nick and I are like 110 each.
Yeah, 119 mythic right now.
Nick's ranked 119. I'm ranked 110. I made mythic with sideboardless Leyline.
Oh, way to make me feel good, Stanley. I appreciate it.
I went 20-2 with Leyline with no sideboard and best of 3.
Well, okay, it is important context to say that Jacob started in silver, which you know, which just means it takes time. It takes more time. We started in platinum, so
yeah.
I started in bronze actually, but
see, there you go.
Yeah.
It takes time. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you play arena. So we hop in Discord now and we play arena. It's the first time I think I've ever seen you play arena.
yeah,
Besides that,
Still
your
boarding
house.
out lands?
I play a lot of MTGO, and then it like never works out for me, which I don't really want to talk about any of my modern testing with different decks on MTGO right now or anything like that, but it's not been going well. Because apparently when Nick plays Eldrazi aggro, he 4-1s the league. When I play Eldrazi aggro, I play against Titan 3 times.
Dude, I like that deck. I played a second league, I went 4-1, I only lost the mirror for the second league. That deck pumps. Now, when you draw a Jolly Temple, that deck sucks. But
yeah, that's real bad.
Yeah, real bad.
Man is rough.
Compel yourself to Nick. Nick's in the ham sandwich bracket, so like it doesn't matter what he plays, he's just gonna do well.
Oh, I did 1-4 a league the other day because I played Mardu Energy, and it was the worst Mardu Energy deck I think I've ever seen. I was just complaining about how it was built the whole time. It was like
I'm impressed you played all 5 matches.
Dude, I know.
1-4.
Because I get this funk where when I lose, I just have to keep playing until I win something.
It's like the scene from the original Transformers where they're like waiting for question, and he's like, I ate all the donuts. I had to let them know that I'm not guilty. Nick's like, I had to play every match just so I know it's trash.
Yeah, no, it is bad. I am probably the only person, I might say the only person in the world who was playing 22 lands in their energy deck, and this deck was playing 23 lands in it with only 2 Surveil lands. I just floated every game I played. Every hand, 5 lands. Kept like a 5-card hand with 5 lands in it, and I just kept drawing lands. I was like, what am I doing? Why does this deck play 23? Anyway, that's a tangent, but anyway.
Yeah, so
people try 22 lands in your Boros Energy deck. Just try it. You'll like it. Trust me.
all right. So in standard, Evan's playing mono white. Jacob is playing Is It Tempo.
Prowess.
Nick is playing Is It Cauldron. Julianne's still depressed from the bans. Ron, I'm afraid to ask, but what cards are you casting right now?
Well, I didn't play a lot because I was sick as a dog when I got back from Vegas for like a week and a half. Then I played some paper, and this weekend I sucked, and so I was bummed about it. But today for S&Gs, I put together your Leyline deck, but I don't have a 15 island sideboard because I was thinking about it. I have a sideboard that I just don't cover your face like that. I know you're getting scared.
Anything is better than 15 islands, let's be honest.
The sideboard is basically a complete transformation. 15 out, coming. 15 in, and turns it into Gruul aggro.
Wrong, it's already Gruul aggro. What do you mean?
No, it's just Gruul aggro, no Leyline.
Well, I mean, that sounds like normal Leyline to me.
No, Leyline is aggro combo.
Yeah, you're right, aggro combo. You know what I said that I think is really funny? I need to say it again for anyone who didn't see it. Is I said that when Stanley was playing the Leyline deck, I was like, you need to put out a guide for this deck. And you need to actually board in islands sometimes and be like, you see, against mono and Dimir mid-range, you need to hit your land drops more consistently. So we board up extra lands here because it's important to hit your land drops. And it has this huge wall of text about how very important to board into islands. Also, when you board an island, your opponent plays around Spell Pierce, which you don't even have, so it's like a win-win. It's good stuff.
Honestly, goated.
I have been keeping my eye out on the mono green landfall deck that's been
checks out.
popping up in challenges and stuff.
We're gonna go broke if you build that deck. We're gonna go broke.
Unfortunate because Bristly Bill is apparently a good commander card, so they're like $50 each. And we don't have any.
I figured that one out when I had to buy one for Nadu. I was like, why is this card $50?
That deck is unironically one of the most expensive decks in Standard.
Doesn't it play 4 Traveling Chocobos too?
Yes,
which is
and that card's $120 for a playset.
It is not the most expensive standard deck.
It's not really a VV deck, but
I'm looking at it right now. The deck itself is $350, but Bristly Bill and Traveling Chocobo make up $320 of that.
Well, it's somebody was like...
Okay, to be clear, because that statement scared me. For a moment, I thought there was no boring printing of Traveling Chocobo, and you had to buy the mortgage payment edition. But there is a boring version. That's
I played it in draft once, so I actually have one.
Okay.
I know that Stanley, one of the guy who came up to us in Hartford from your Discord, who I said's a local player. I don't remember his name, unfortunately. But he played it at Store Champs, and I think he won with it. I don't know if he was playing the Chocobos. I didn't see, but he was destroying people with Tifa. I'll tell you that. I know he hit Dimir midrange for 210. So on turn 4. Nice. So he got him. That's when I found out Ordeal of Nylea is legal and standard too.
Foundations, love it. Foundations, brief moment of Foundations. Elspeth's Smite is in Foundations, and Obliterating Bolt is in Foundations. So 2 cards you might have thought were rotating, you're definitely not rotating.
Shout out Foundations. Truly a new landscape with Foundations.
Truly the foundation after rotation.
Bushwhack, not rotating.
Opt was never standard legal.
Opt was never rotating.
Until Foundations, which I might have got. Someone might have cheated against me in RCQ because I swear when Rafine was legal, when we were qualifying for Dallas, that someone cast an Opt against me. Maybe I'm confusing Pioneer Phoenix season versus standard
Consider
season.
Was legal.
Oh, maybe it was considered, but I was I swear this card was legal before Foundations, but I don't know. Falcon pointed that one out.
Krenko Mob Boss printed it to Pioneer with Foundations.
Oh, very good.
Yep.
So does it leave Pioneer? How does that work? With the 5 years up, does it leave Pioneer or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Foundations is weird.
Well, Julianne, I'm glad that there's one deck that has caught your eye a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just, it only has, I just looked at a list, I think it only has 4 cards rotating, and they're all from the sideboard. So I think it's going to be on my watch list.
Nice.
I think it's on a lot of people's watch lists right now. It's been creeping up there, so.
Nice.
Shout out Boros
Stanley,
Convoke,
you going to talk about it, Stanley?
I'm going to talk about it.
You're going to talk about it?
That's what I'm trying to transition to. So,
talk about it.
Obviously, I lost everything in these bands. I lost it all. I had it all. I was, top of the world, RC Dallas, Spotlight.
Watson took everything in the divorce.
I was making works of art. These beautiful aggro combo decks. And I lost it all. So they were dark times. I played Delirium because I got to play Overprotect and Violent Urge and, pretend that I could still Monstrous Rage Double Strike people. That deck is pretty cool. It's doing powerful things, but Delirium is always inherently, a little bit inconsistent because I'm, milling my top card. I'm surveilling. I'm trying to get Delirium. That's a little bit inconsistent, and then, Graveyard Hate is a thing. So, that deck was so cool sometimes, and other times it was like, I'm doing something so much less powerful than my opponent, and I'm not having a good time. So then I switched to Leyline, and I was like, oh, dang, I'm having a good time. And I tried some small sideboards, but, unironically, I think the, correct way to play that deck is, just don't sideboard. It's just an all-in combo deck. Your protection spells are main deck. Your Paw Patch Recruits are main deck. There's literally nothing you could take out and put in for any matchup that would make me go, yes, now you're better off. It's just a completely all-in dumb combo deck. And honestly, Wild Ride is really cool. We do some really cool things. I had a spot where I had 2 ley lines, 2 Wild Rides, and a handful of creatures. And I was able to get my Paw Patch Recruit all the way up to 32 power because the first Wild Ride, I hit that Paw Patch Recruit 3 times. Then the second Wild Ride, I hit Paw Patch Recruit twice and one of the other creatures once. So now that creature had 4 power, and I could harmonize Wild Ride for 1 and hit the big Paw Patch Recruit twice, and then one of my other creatures once. And now that creature had 4 power, so I could harmonize again and put 3 more Wild Rides on Paw Patch Recruit. So Paw Patch Recruit got 9, 18, plus 6, 12, 30 power tacked onto it from the 2 pieces of cardboard in my hand, which was disgusting because Paw Patch Recruit has trample. So you're just this really goofy all-in combo deck. The whole value statement on Leyline that Nick said a million times, and I said one less than that, was it's just a really good Gruul aggro deck that also has this broken angle. Without Heartfire, without Monstrous Rage, the good aggro deck is gone. So it's just bad cards and weird synergies that you just kill your opponent. However, Nick, are you going off mute? No, he's not. All right. It's obviously way less consistent, and I miss Monstrous Rage so much. And there's not enough trample in the deck, even though I'm trying to force as much trample as I can. So I started playing Boros Mice. And I played some mediocre versions just because I really wanted to test as many cards as I could. Then finally, after the failing at the store championships with Leyline, I was like, all right, I'm going to sit down and build a good version of Boros Mice. It's actually really good. I'm really enjoying it. Flowerfoot Soldier is awesome. Really 5-star line is turn 3 Offspring Flowerfoot, turn 4 Offspring Manifold Mouse. You give both those guys double strike, they buff your whole team. You have 2 3-power double strikers coming in. The other thing that's really cool is Opera Love Song can target both of your Flowerfoot soldiers. So if you have 2 Flowerfoots and you cast Opera Love Song, you're attacking for 10. And most of your mice have 2 power natively, so even if you have something silly like a cheeky house mouse in play, Now you're attacking for 14 because Cheeky House Mouse is a 4/1 after you triggered both of your Flowerfoot soldiers. Not to mention, House Mouse and Flowerfoot are both cards that you can cast on turn 1. You follow up with Manifold on turn 2, and you're attacking for 4. Great way to start the game. And Sheltered by Ghosts, really powerful Magic card. It's really strong, and I go back and forth on is it just good against the aggro, or is it good period? And in this deck, it is good period. I've moved all the way to just 4 main deck because I was just boarding it in every matchup. It's a Valiant trigger. Ward 2 is not irrelevant. Never to Run is not popular right now. So the deck is doing a lot of awesome things. Mabel is so good. Mabel is so good. She gives your whole team +1/+1 and makes heir to Cragflame or something like that. But Mabel's sword is disgusting. +1/+1, trample, vigilance, and haste for 2 mana. So it's like a Rockface Village, except it gives trample and vigilance, and you don't lose the buff at the end of the turn. You just get to do so many cool things. For 5 mana, Mabel's just a 4/4 vigilance, trample, haste, because you just cast her and equip her with her sword. And then the most recent development today, because Lightning Helix is in there, Boros Charm is in there. We're playing the Boros cards. So Whisker Veil Forerunner is one of my favorite cards in this sideboard. It is a 4 mana white mouse, which many people have never seen in their life. But it's a 3/4 and it has Valiant, and you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck and put a creature with mana value 3 or less into play. So you go 5 deep, and if you find Nemesis, boom, you just put it in play. You find Mabel, put it in play. Manifold Mouse goes right in play. So all these Valiant triggers, the Manifold triggers, Whisker Veil is just an amazing grindy threat. So it's a great way to beat mid-range. In the last deck that I couldn't really figure out how to beat, because obviously we can beat aggro. We have Sheltered by Ghosts, we have Lightning Helix. Beating aggro is not a problem. And then we have this really nice, go big plan with Whisker Veil and Nemesis and all our offspring cards for the mid-range. But I was struggling to figure out how to beat control decks and unit decks. And I'm seeing a ton of those on Arena. So I kept getting reps, and I was trying do I sideboard to be faster? Do I try to play Whisker Veil and go to blow with these guys? But usually, against control and against the unistyle decks, if you're an aggro deck and you try to keep up with those decks, you can't. And playing cards that are better in the long game, you just die slower pretty often. And I finally something clicked. The burn spells were the best cards in that matchup. And so while I still really like 2 Boros Charm, 2 Lightning Helix in the main deck, by moving 2 Sheltered by Ghosts to the main, I made more room in my sideboard. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Let's just put the other 2 Boros Charms and the last Lightning Helix in the sideboard. So now against those control decks and against the unit decks, I have 4 Lightning Helix, 4 Boros Charm, I have my 4 Nemesis and my 4 Hired Claw, and I have my 4 Opera Love Song, and of course I have my 4 Burst Lightning. And so I just play Burn Post board, and it's amazing. You run out your creatures early, you get your big hits in, and then you're like, okay, you can take some game actions, but I'm just gonna cast my burn spells and kill you. I'm very, very happy. I'm gonna start, working on a brand new full deck guide for the deck, which is something I haven't done in a long time. But I really like this dual pivot plan Boros aggro deck that has kind of slowly unfolded throughout this pretty sad time. But now I'm kind of stoked. Big fan of pivoting. Nick and I talk a lot about the blow and counter blow of sideboarding, that Fable style sideboarding where it's okay, I know my opponent's going to go for my plan A, when they sideboard, and so I'm going to preemptively sideboard into a different plan. So expecting Temp Lockdown and those style cards to solo the game for you, and I'm just like, Boros Charm, Boros Charm. It's like awesome. So I'm really happy with where the deck is at right now. Of course, it would be miles better with Heartfire Hero and Monstrous Rage. But even without those fellas, I feel like I have a pretty good mass of broken cards, like overabundance of synergy, and really, really good plans where we do have the tools to go blow for blow with mid-range, and we do have a very nice alternate angle to be able to kill Yuna and control decks, even though they're very good at stabilizing the board. We just go face at that point. Jacob, was that the thing you were asking me if I was going to talk about? He asks like 10 minutes later.
Yep. I'm in. I have full art Lightning Helixes that I bought specifically for hoping that I got to play them in Standard, so I will 100% be testing this deck. I just, I don't know. I gotta kind of wait until all of Edge comes out to see if anything like really slots into that deck, and if anything really changes, which I doubt anything will, because I don't know. Nothing's. The cards that I think are really good are just like cards that I don't want to play against instead of play with. So
yeah, I think no matter what, especially like this deck went from like a 6 to a 7 to an 11 for me after like finding this last plan. So I'm like really excited. I don't think it matters what's in Edge. This is going to be a really good deck. The only thing that would make it not the best aggro deck is we have a 3-mana Planeswalker coming, and the 3-mana Planeswalker is an Artifact Synergy Planeswalker, and they're printing red aggro cards with Artifact Synergy, and we're still like a key piece or two away, but like given the clear indication of synergies, there's a universe where like, you know, in another spoiler or two, there's potential for some kind of mono red Tezzeret or like Delirium Tezzeret deck. 3-mana walkers are scary, and it looks like red has the synergy with it. So that's what I'm kind of like tentatively keeping my eye on, but I don't think the cards are there yet. But we still have like 78 cards to be spoiled, so we'll see.
I think they'd have to print like Shrapnel Blast and then like actual good like artifact creatures for it to be really good, but I definitely see where your head's at. I think the card, like the Tezzeret card, which we'll talk about in a later episode when all the spoilers come out, I think that card's like actually like good in Eternal formats. I can't see it right now in Standard. Like 3-mana like artifacts are always broken in older formats, and 3-mana Planeswalkers that skill with artifacts is very good in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we also have Chandra. Chandra puts an artifact into play every turn. Chandra, you can sacrifice an artifact to draw a card, and Nick's given thumbs down, but like, Nick, do you know what a munition token is?
Nope.
Exactly. So, there are seedings of potential. As I said, I don't think the cards are there. I don't have a potential deck list, but like there's clear synergy between the red cards they're printing and Tezzeret. Even just like the Kavu, the 2/1 Kavu, where you can like your opponent can choose to give you 2 landers. Well, if I get 2 landers, that's 2 like +2 loyalty. I'm like very quickly close to alting Tezzeret if my opponent doesn't want me to have a 4/3. There's also the like 1-mana dude that can make an artifact every turn when you attack. Rust Harvester looks pretty sick. 1-mana 1/1 Menace. Pay 2 mana and tap it. Exile an artifact from your graveyard. Put a counter on it. And then deal damage equal to its power to any target. Any target there, pretty powerful. So you permanently grow him, and you tapped him, but you don't lose the opportunity to deal damage with him because you get to deal damage equal to his power to any target. And obviously, Patchwork Beastie and Wicker Folk, whatever, in Delirium are artifacts as well. So I don't have a deck list, but I do see that there are a lot of cards pointing at that synergy, and 3-mana Planeswalkers are always scary. So if there's a good deck with a 3-mana Planeswalker, and it's an aggro deck, then, of course it's going to be on my radar. And munitions tokens, when they go to the graveyard, you deal 2 damage to your opponent, I think. When this token leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. Not even opponent, but any target. Very aggressively branded token. And the reason I bring that up is because we've only seen 1 or 2 cards with munitions in it. But if there's a couple banger cards that make munitions or help us sacrifice munitions, that starts to get really scary. Chandra sacrifices artifacts. So you sacrifice a munition, with her, you get to deal 2 damage to any target, and you draw your card or whatever she does, and I think it's her plus, so you get close to alting her if her alt has tags. I haven't looked at it that closely. Whenever an artifact you control enters, that alt is insane if we're creating, mass amounts of artifacts in this deck. So it just feels like we have 80 to 90% of a puzzle, but we're missing a very significant part of the puzzle. It's not like we're missing one edge. We're missing part of the main picture. But there's definitely stuff there. End of speech. But yeah, super excited about Boros. So much so that I'm going to start on that guide in the near future.
So it sounds like, since Nick says always go with the play what Stanley tells you to play, I'll be playing some sort of Boros deck in the next standard season.
Yeah, I think you should get your 4th Nemesis. Yeah, I think that's a clear best choice for you, Ron. You know the mouse deck, the archetype. Leyline is going to be way too fringe. I think there's a fun Leyline deck out there. I'm not going to take time on the cast to talk any more about Leyline, but anyone who is a red aggro enjoyer who enjoyed the mouse deck, Boros is the way, man. It's not even close. Boros has the best mana. Sacred Foundry is the nuts. That's gonna be the Verge is gonna be online that much more often. So, really good time to be a Boros enjoyer. Get to cast so many cards that we love. You get to have the broken mouse synergies. Play Boros, for sure.
Sounds like I'll be digging out my my mice.
Yeah, try to find 4 cheeky house
I think I got
mouses.
most of them. So yeah, matter of fact, I think I have to find some cheeky house mice for someone.
Yeah, 2 for me, 2 for you.
and this little critter needs to come find its way home.
Come back home. Yeah, anyone else want to talk about Standard or anything at all Magic related? Anybody want to talk about their feelings? Oh, thank goodness. I don't know how to do that.
Well, since you're not.
Luckily, my baby can't talk yet.
Brief complaint about the lands in Standard post-rotation. How
That's
there
right.
are going to be color combinations that are just terrible and some that are great. Blue-white is going to have nothing. And Boros has everything it could ever want.
Yeah. That's a great point, Evan. Let me give a quick rundown of, I have that graphic close by. So we'll stick to the 2 colors. So for 2 color decks, Simic, Orzhov, and Boros are the happiest. They have the Shockland and the Fastland. So if you enjoy Simic, Orzhov, or Boros, you have the best mana in Standard. Congratulations. If you enjoy Dimir or Gruul, you have the Shock land, but you don't have a fast land. And I think that's still a pretty solid place to be. We have Starting Town, which is basically like a fast land and a pain land. So you'll be okay. It's not great, but you'll be okay. And you do have the Shock land, which helps turn on your Verges. And then if you're playing Izzet or Golgari, you have the fast land but no Shock land. So again, you have enough lands in your colors. You're going to play Starting Town. Having that many fast lands can be a bit at times. But you'll be okay. You can play your deck. If you play Rakdos, Azorius, or Selesnya, you get nothing. You have a Verge, and you have Surveil lands. But you have no Shock lands. You have no fast lands. For Rakdos, that means, Lizards is not going to be a thing. For Selesnya, I don't know what that means. Azorius...
Cage is unplayable without
Cage
Selesnya.
is unplayable. There you go.
What's new?
So, Lizards, Cage, you guys are getting a pretty raw deal. Azorius, Evan does like himself a little bit of Azorius aggro, so that's very unfortunate for Evan. Control, you have the Verge, you have the Surveil land. You're probably gonna play Jeskai anyway, maybe. So
you have the man land for Azorius. I think Azorius control is probably fine. You just play your 12 duels, basics, call it a day.
Yeah, the man lands are still there too. Everybody has their man lands, so I think Azorius control is probably fine. But if you're trying to play aggressively or at all, Rakdos, Azorius, and Selesnya, not having a good time.
I wanted to ask, because you guys have been around the game a lot longer than I have, is this something, because I hear a lot of talk and I see a lot of talk about this situation where some color combinations are going to be far better off. Is this a common thing that happens with rotation, or is it being talked about because it's kind of a newer thing?
Well, I know, back in the day when we had blocks, you would, see, 5 of the lands come out in one set, and then the next set in the block, the other 5 lands would come out, so all 10 color combination, or all 10 color combinations would have everything. And then I know, Constant Tarkir Standard, we had fetch lands with Horizon, whatever, the Zendikar lands or whatever, the fake, the check basic lands.
Canopy lands.
Canopy lands, that's what we're calling them. So essentially you just
Tango,
had...
sorry. Tango.
Yeah, you had 4... Every deck was a 4-color deck because you could just literally play everything because you had fetch lands plus... So you had, Jeskai Black, you had Abzan Blue, right? That's what they would call those decks, but I know... As of recently, I've noticed it's just, they haven't prioritized putting, only for a little bit of the rotation you'll have, all 10 of a card type, or, whatever, all 10 fast lands in Standard for a year, vice, the whole rotation cycle.
Yeah, to Jacob's point, it's not uncommon that for the first set, 5 color combinations will be better off than another 5, but it is uncommon that, you're going to print fast lands for a color combination and just not finish the cycle. Usually you'll see, if we're going to start printing fast lands, then the next set's going to have the other 5 fast lands, so then everyone gets fast lands by the conclusion of the second set.
We're also
Kinda
forgetting
with Pain lands. Pain lands came out of Dominaria United, then immediately Brothers War had the other 5. So
every color combination gets a Scry land. So there you go, guys.
Yep.
Thank you for Foundations.
I think the shortest way to put it is usually mana gets worse for it gets asymmetrically worse after rotation, but not this asymmetrically and this worse. So the event is normal, the intensity is not.
Okay, so there is a reason why we might be seeing more chatter about it if the intensity is greater than normal.
I think it's fair.
I think...
If I was if I loved Lizards, if I was excited about that horrible promo that everybody made a big deal about, I would be so pissed. I'd be like, are you kidding me? You made Lizards playable for 8 minutes and then now I get no lands? This is insane.
I think that you will probably see in the next set maybe the other 5 Shocklands, or in 2 sets. But yeah, I think in the Dune set, which is what I'm calling Edge of Eternities, because it's just Dune, but they just didn't get the IP apparently. If you look at all the art, it looks like Dune. Then it's just not happening unless they're like the last set in the spoilers is going to be like, here we go, here's the other 5 Shocklands, which is not going to happen. So
I would assume that the colors with the worst mana will get something good in the next set. It should get made much better, but yeah. If you're thinking about the season, be mindful of if your color combination is playable based on the lands. Definitely, after rotation, it's pretty normal for lands to drive which color combinations are playable, and that is more applicable than ever with this rotation. Great point, Evan. Thank you. With that, this is probably our longest episode ever. We gotta go to bed. Good talk, modern, thumbs up, bans. I understand why it had to be done.
Still hurts.
Blocking is unbanned. We're all very happy about that.
Oh, stop it.
Blocking was never banned.
You could
There's
block.
a difference
It just died.
between
It's okay.
expecting your 1/1 token to carry you and investing real resources into blocking. If you invested real resources into blocking, blocking was never banned. You could play Magic and include blocking in your repertoire. You just couldn't solo the game with 1/1 tokens. That's going to be the end of that discussion. We're not going to talk about that anymore.
nobody likes blocking anyways.
Honestly,
no one has ever liked blocking ever. I've
That's
never
my
blocked
favorite
them and
step
happy
during
about
combat,
it.
personally.
I attacked for 4, and my opponent said no blocks, so I cast Love Song, and they took 14. People still don't block. Anyway.
Choices are being made.
Thanks for listening this long. Flexlot.gg, heavy play bracket, like, follow, subscribe, other keywords. Comment about Ron's haircut, and have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Good night, all.
Everybody make like a face for the
Oh, gotta do
okay.
the
All right.
I gotta do the thumbnail.